I've seen it, and it has been regretful. Beyond that, it's been grievous, but it has been prophesied to take place, and I understand it clearly. And I think one of the reasons why I'm so acutely aware and tenaciously, if you will, trying to open the eyes of people regarding what Obama is doing is that he is absolutely riding a tide of a spirit long since prophesied that such a person as himself would come. It is unseemly that that the media would bow down and worship him. It is unseemly that the American people would be caught in such a spell of knowing that this man spent 20 years with Jeremiah Wright, yet they're willing to trust him with their lives, with the future of this nation, and with the inheritance that their fathers and forefathers gave them in terms of the great industrial part of this nation, the financial part of this nation, the great schools, and the great government. They have turned all of that over to this man who has never had a job until he became senator for the state of Illinois.
So
and now he has the most powerful job on the planet. I understand clearly that this is supreme evil at its. We will never on this planet see the evil that we see that's being manifest right now in that long-legged Mac Daddy, that's vice president of both death and hell, of genocide and abortion. He who is the son of Satan himself, his father is a lie, and he's the son of a lie, Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama.
Would it be safe to say that Barack Obama was an inside job? I've heard you say that earlier today on your Manning Report.
Well, I think that there is no doubt about it that there are conspirators. I mean, from George Bush, listen, when George Bush was president, George Tenet, president of the leader of the CIA, George Bush had access to every cough that went up on a planet. If you cough somewhere, George Bush had the power to analyze that. The very fact that George Tenet, allowed Obama to move forward unchallenged about his eligibility makes him a conspirator, makes him knowingly, willfully allowing this nation to be taken over. It makes him a part of the problem. There is no denying that, and we have to understand that. If anybody who likes Bush or thought well of him got to understand that that's exactly what he did, because the CIA at the time, under the leadership of George W. Bush, could investigate anything they want to investigate, find out anything they want to find out, tap anything they want to tap. Anything that the only thing they didn't do was find Osama bin Laden, but anything else.
Yes. Now this is a point which I've been waiting to get to, and then I'll be done. Basically, my final question to you, sir, is what do you think about these other social movements? And what do you think about people who criticize you for mixing religion and politics? Because the 9/11 Truth Movement, or the Truthers, as they're known, which Louie and myself are, have been under serious scrutiny as of late. And tonight, actually, at 9 p.m. on the National Geographic Channel, there is going to be a hit piece against 9/11 Truthers entitled 9/11 Science and Conspiracy. So, first of all, I'd like to state for the record that it is a conspiracy regardless of who did it, because clearly 19 hijackers plus the leadership of Osama bin Laden, that's 20 people engaging to plan to engage in an illegal act.
Yeah.
That is a conspiracy, is it not?
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's what makes a conspiracy, yes.
But what do you think about the 9/11 Truth Movement, Mr. Manning, and our efforts to uncover the truth? Because Obama was in Cairo, Egypt, saying, "Don't question 9/11."
I have not participated with the truthers, 9/11 truthers, in support of the inside job of the World Trade Center. I have not done that. I have not been led to do that. One of the things I do is I try to stay within the area that I find that I'm skilled or that I'm led by the Lord, first of all, and then whatever skills He will give me to do that. But with respect to the Obama situation and those that would ask me, in other words, I have not become a 9/11 truther, but here, with respect to those who would say, well, why don't you stay out of politics and just stay with religion? And my statement to them would be, Well, then would you say the same thing to Moses when he went down to tell Pharaoh, the then head of the world's, at that time, the most powerful nation on the planet? He went to the politicians there and spoke there and stood before the government seat and declared, let my people go, and was successful at doing it, engaged them in a battle, even though it was a battle at the Red Sea. Would you have told Moses that he was out of sync? Would you have told John the Baptizer that he was out of sync? John the Baptist, many people call him, that he was out of sync for involving himself with Herod and Herodias by making statements about their illicit marriage. I think people are just misinformed about the role of a pastor, and then they just need to get biblically sound is what they need to do.
Hey, they wouldn't say that to Jesus when he went up to the Sanhedrin.
Absolutely. Correct.
And that takes us full circle to where we started from, with the black guy in a wheelchair with the big Christian cross around his neck, the bling bling, basically probably a very sinful man, just fronting as a religious man, criticizing me for telling the truth about Obama at the street action yesterday. And I'm just sick of it. I won't stand for it, and I commend your courage, Mr. Manning, in confronting the issues that you feel comfortable with. But for the record, I want to say that we not only have circumstantial evidence of the 9/11 inside job, we have forensic evidence. Chemical testing was done, and now there are over 800 architects and engineers, most of them PhDs in their field, whether it's chemical or physics or biology. A lot of different people across the spectrum are now questioning that story.
Mm-hmm. Let me raise a couple of questions that I think that you'd be interested to hear. Yes, question number one was on that Tuesday morning when I became aware by just walking through my room where my television. I was in my home at the time. And seeing that the building had been hit by a plane, my first reaction was it was an accident. But then I thought a few moments later that weird accident. And then, of course, when the second plane hit, no doubt now we're under attack, or at least that's what it appeared. The thing that bothered me more than anything else was when I saw those buildings fall within a matter of 45 minutes. I just thought that was impossible. I'm not an engineer. I don't know structural engineering. I don't build things. I'm not an architect. I don't know zilch about that. But I thought that if a building, and I've been in the World Trade Center a zillion times, I thought to myself that for those buildings to fall so methodically and pretty much as on cue, just struck me as extremely strange.
The one that got struck first second fell first. Does that make any sense? The one that burned for a shorter period of time collapsed first?
And then, of course, building number 7 that was not attacked at all, that just fell on cue.
Which happened to contain files for Enron and several other companies which are under investigation. Another coincidence.
It bothered me greatly. It bothers me even until this day. I haven't taken up that fight. I haven't looked to take up that fight. I understand a large number from the most patriotic people in America that I believe that they are patriots beyond question, believes that 9/11 was an inside job, and that's where I'm at.
And by that we mean it wasn't the government that carried it out. The government was taken over on 9/11. On that day, what we had was basically what is historically known as a coup d'etat, a government seizure, a forceful, hostile, bloody takeover whereby these private banks, the Federal Reserve, engineered this and used our military resources to carry it out.